Hi, good everyone. Welcome back to another video lesson in Mathematics 10. And we are now in our third week. This lesson is intended for weeks 3 and 4. So let's start. So what can you see in the picture? Right. So it is a car, but have you noticed something different? So have you imagined yourself riding a car or pushing a cart having wheels that are not round? Do you think you can move heavy objects from one place to another easily or travel distant places as fast as you can? What difficulty do you think would you experience without circles? Have you ever thought of the importance of circles in the field of transportation, industries, sports, navigation, carpentry, and even in your daily life? So, in your daily living, will you give an example of the importance of circle? Okay, so I think you know already what is our topic for today, and it is all about circles. For quarter 2, weeks 3 and 4, we will be talking about relationships among chords, arcs, central angles, and inscribed angles. But before we proceed to the relationships of those chords, arcs, central angles, and inscribed angle, let us have a simple review on the definition of circle. So a circle is a set of coplanar points which is equidistant from a fixed point called the center. So it is a set of points which is equidistant from a fixed point called the center. So in here, that is an example of a circle. So use the figure below to identify and name the following terms related to circle A. By the way, a circle is named based on its center. So in here, the center is point A. Therefore, we name this as circle A. We're going to identify the radius, diameter, chord, semicircle, minor arc, major arc, central angle, and inscribed angle. Let us define first what is a radius. A radius, it is a segment drawn from the center of the circle to any point on the circle. In the figure, will you name radius? Right. One example of radius is segment AJ. That is segment AJ from the center to any point on the circle. So we have here three radii. So segment AN, segment AJ, and segment AE. So AJ, AN, and then AE. Now let's proceed to diameter. A diameter is a segment whose endpoints are on the circle and it passes through the center of the circle. In here, there is only one segment that passes through the center of the circle, so it is segment JE, and the endpoints are on the circle. So segment EJ or JE is the diameter. It says there, it is the longest chord, pero hindi pa natin na-discuss yung chord. So let us now define what is a chord. It is a segment joining any 2 points on the circle. So segment wherein the endpoints are on the circle. So one example is segment JE. Another is LE. Ayan, segment LE. And segment NE or EN. So EJ, EL, and segment EN. How about a semicircle? A semicircle is an arc measuring 1/2 of the circumference of a circle. So a circumference, eto yon, the whole of this. And if it is 1/2, yung diameter, dinedivide niya yung circumference ng circle. So this arc, ayan, kung nanonotice nyo yung drawing, ayan, that is a semicircle. So, a semicircle, J and E, arc, the symbol is arc. Yeah. Arc, J and E is a semicircle. Another semicircle is arc, E, J na lang, J, L, E. So, arc, J, L, E. So, we have two, J and E and J, L, E. How about a minor arc? A minor arc is an arc of a circle that measures less than a semicircle. So, kanina, yung semicircle, half ng circumference. Ngayon naman, less than half of the semicircle. So, an example of that is arc LJ. Usually, two letters yung minor arc to distinguish yung minor arc at saka yung major arc na i-discuss natin later on. So, arc LJ is a minor arc. And here are some. So, arc LJ, arc JN, arc NE, arc LE, and arc LJN. So, we can also name that for 3 letters. Okay lang naman. Pero usually, nina-name natin yung minor arc for 2 letters. And major arc, it is an arc of a circle that measures greater than a semicircle. So, an example of that is arc J N L. That is a major arc. An example. And here are the major arcs in that figure. So, arc J-E-N, arc, asan si J-E-N? J-E-N. That one. Eto. J-E-N. Yun yung isang major arc. Another, arc L-E-N, arc N-L-E, arc J-E-L, and arc L-N-E. And then we have the central angle. So it is an angle whose vertex is at the center of the circle and with 2 radii or radii rays as its sides. So yung vertex daw nasa center, so this is a central angle. So angle J-A-N is a central angle. Another central angle is angle N-A-E. I-check natin kung tama. J-A-N-N-A-E. Okay, very good. And then, let's review yung inscribed angle. Yung inscribed angle naman, it is an angle whose vertex is on a circle and whose sides contains chords of the circle. So, angle pa rin siya, pero yung vertex niya nasa circle na, on the circle. So, an example of that is angle L-E-J is an inscribed angle. And this arc, ay tinatawag nating intercepted arc of the angle L-E-J. Inscribed. Another inscribed angles are angle J-E-N, itong portion na to, and then angle L-E-N. So we are done recalling yung mga parts related to circles, and now let's proceed to our lesson 1. I divided this lesson into 2. The first one involves chords, arcs, and central angles, and the other one ay chords, arcs, and inscribed angles. So let us recall again yung central angle natin, that a central angle of a circle is an angle formed by 2 rays whose vertex is on the center of a circle. So we have here angle BCD is a central angle. And each ray intersects the circle at a point. So eto yung point of intersection ng circle at yung ray. Now, etong arc na to ay dinidivide niya ngayon yung circle pala into 2 arcs, etong minor arc and then yung major arc. And this minor arc is the intercepted arc of the central angle BCD. Now let's proceed to sum of central angles. We have here 4 angles: angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, and angle 4. The sum of the measures of the central angles of a circle with no common interior points. Ano yung common interior points? Ito yung mga angles na hindi overlapping. Kapag meron siyang overlapping siya, for example, we have here an angle, and then another angle here, merong overlapping siya kasi may common points sila. Kapag sinabi nating no common interior points, adjacent lang yung 2 angles. So like angle 1 and angle 2, they are adjacent, no overlapping or no common interior points. So if you are going to add all the measures of these 4 angles, then the sum is equal to 360 degrees. Now let's proceed sa degree measure of an arc. The degree measure of a minor arc is the measure of the central angle which intercepts the arc. So for example, we have here a central angle ACB, and the angle measure of this angle ACB is 100 degrees. Then the intercepted arc AB, so the measure of arc AB, ayan, the symbol ng arc ayon, it is also equal to 100. The degree measure of a major arc is equal to 360 minus the measure of the minor arc with the same endpoint. So if arc AB is equal to 100 degrees, then this major arc, this portion, that is equal to 260 degrees. So 360 minus 100, 260. And then the degree measure of a semicircle is 180. Why? Because sabi nga natin, yung sum ng angles dun sa previous discussion natin, sum of central angles, kapag add natin lahat yan, it is equal to 360. At ang semicircle, yung diameter, dinidivide niya ngayon yung circle into 2. So yung semicircle, 360 divided by 2, 180. So yung degree measure ng semicircle is 180. So, 2 circles are congruent if they have congruent radii. So, for example, this is 5 centimeters and this is 5 centimeters. Then these 2 circles, circle A, is congruent to circle C because they have the same measurement ng radius. Now, let's have another definition. Congruent arcs are arcs of the same circle or of congruent circles with equal measure. So, let's have Theorem 1. In Theorem 1, it says there, in a circle or in congruent circles, 2 minor arcs are congruent if and only if their corresponding central angles are congruent. So, theorem, kailangan nating i-prove ito. So to prove a biconditional statement pala, this is biconditional since if, may nakalagay dyan, if and only if. It is a biconditional statement. We must prove the statement in both directions. So in other words, we have to prove 2 statements. Let's start with the first one. Given the arc, kapag yung arc yung given, si arc ST ay congruent kay arc ON, we need to prove that their corresponding central angles are also congruent. And then the other one, we do the reverse. Given angle SET congruent to angle OEM, we need to prove that their corresponding intercepted arcs are congruent. So we're going to prove one only, and then I'll just leave yung other proofs sa inyo to work on. So first, in circle E, arc ST, etong arc na to, congruent daw kay arc ON. So, congruent yan. Ang i-prove natin that angle SET, etong angle na to, ay congruent kay angle OEN. Yung angle na yan. So, ito yung proof. So, we have here arc ST is congruent to arc ON that is given. Saan natin kinuha? Dito yon. So, prove natin using two column proofs. So, statements and then reasons. So, the measure of arc ST is equal to the measure of arc ON. Definition of congruent arcs. So, if the two arcs are congruent, then they have equal measures. Ibig niya sabihin. And then, arc ST is equal to the measure of angle SET. So, yung arc ST natin equal sa angle SET. So, the degree measure of a minor arc is the measure of the central angle which intercepts the arc. Ganon din yung measure of arc ON. It is equal to the measure of angle OEN. And then, by substitution, isubstitute natin yung the measure of angle SET sa ST. Kaya naging ganyan yan. And then, substitute natin yung measure of angle OEN kay ON. So, eto na ngayon. Therefore, angle SET is congruent to angle OEN by definition of congruent angles. Again, we need to prove also the other one. Given the angle SET is congruent to angle OEN, we need to prove that their corresponding intercepted arcs are congruent. Yung vice versa naman niya. Or yung kabaliktaran naman niya. Okay, let's proceed sa Theorem 2. In a circle or in congruent circles, two minor arcs are congruent if and only if, so by conditional statement ulit, so dalawang proof to, then again, yung isa, iprove ko, yung other statement, I will leave it to you. Their corresponding chords are congruent. So let us consider this one. So we have, yung given natin is circle T. It says there AB, etong segment na to, AB, chord AB is congruent to chord CH. We need to prove that arc AB, etong arc na to, and then arc CH, this arc, are congruent. Ito yung proof, statements, reasons. So, segment AB is congruent to CH, segment CH, given yan. Ito yon, given. And then we draw TB. Ayan, TB. We draw TB. We draw TA. We draw TH. And TC. So, 2 points determine a line, yung reason. And then TB, segment TB, segment TA, segment TH, segment TC, they are all congruent. Why? Because radii of the same circle are congruent. So, congruent lahat yan. Now, we can say the triangle ATB, etong triangle na to, ATB, yung triangle na yan is congruent to triangle CTH, etong triangle na to. Reason? SSS congruence postulate. Kasi, ayan, corresponding parts are congruent. Then, angle ATB, ayan, angle ATB, asan yung angle ATB? Etong angle na to, ay congruent kay angle CTH, yung angle na yan, by CPC-TC. Ano yung CPC-TC? Kung corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. Yun yung CPC-TC. And then last, i-prove na natin na yung arc AB congruent to arc CH. So, arc AB is congruent to arc CH. Yung Theorem 1 natin kanina, in a circle or in congruent circles, two minor arcs are congruent if and only if their corresponding central angles are congruent. So yung next nating statement, if ang given natin, yung arc, ang congruent, ang ipoprove natin, yung chords are also congruent. Now, let's proceed sa arc addition postulate. So, kanina, theorem. Yung mga theorems, we need to prove those. Statements siya that needs to be proven. Pero, yung postulate, hindi na kailangan ng proof. Established true na siya. So, arc addition postulate, the measure of an arc formed by two adjacent arcs is the sum of the measures of the two arcs. It says there, if the measure of arc LO is equal to 71, kapag ito ay 71, and then OV ay 84, then angle LOV, since the two arcs are adjacent, what you're going to do is just add 71 and 84, and it is equal to 155 degrees. That's the measure of arc LOV. Now, let's proceed sa ating Theorem 3. In a circle, a diameter bisects a chord and an arc with the same endpoints if and only if, again, by conditional ulit, dalawa yan, if it is perpendicular to the chord. So, ang given natin, yung una pala, dalawang statement yan, I will discuss the other statement later on. Yung first natin, given is ES is perpendicular to GT. So, ES, itong diameter na to, perpendicular daw kay GN. Ang ipoprove natin, GI is congruent to NI. Another is, we're going to prove that GE, arc GE, is congruent to arc NE. And then SE, yung diameter, ibabisect daw yung chord, yung arc GN. And then yung diameter din, ibabisect niya yung chord GN. So let's now proceed sa proof. So statements, reasons. So ang given natin, ES perpendicular to GN. Given. After that, we draw UG and then UN. Reason, 2 points determine a line. After that, UG is congruent to UN. Reason, radii of the same circle are congruent. And then UI is congruent to itself. Reason, reflexive property. And then angle UIG, eto yon, angle UIG daw, and angle UIN, the other angle, are right angles. So definition of perpendicular lines based on the given natin. Perpendicular so they are right angles. Therefore, we can say the triangle UIG and triangle UIN are right triangles by definition of a right triangle. Kasi nga, may right angle silang dalawa. Next, yung triangle UIG natin, etong triangle na to, triangle UIG and triangle UIN, they are congruent by hypotenuse leg congruence postulate. Therefore, GI, this segment, is congruent to NI, that segment, by CPC-TC, or corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. This means that SE bisects GN by definition of segment bisector. And then angle GUI, yung angle na yan, congruent kay angle NUI by CPC-TC. Kaya dahil these two triangles are already congruent. Na-prove na natin yan based on this. Kaya by CPC-TC na lang to. And then arc GE is congruent to arc NE by Theorem 1. So congruent to, congruent yan by Theorem 1. And then we can now conclude that SE, segment SE, or yung diameter bisects arc GN. By the arcs on either side of E are congruent. So the other statement, since biconditional siya, in circle U, ES is the perpendicular bisector of GN. And we are going to prove that segment ES is a diameter. And again, I will leave that to you. You are going to answer that on your own for practice. Kasi in the what's more, na ipapagawa ko sa inyo, there is a proof. Kailangan ng proof yun. Now, let's have an activity sa mga sinagutan natin. So, refer to the figure at the right. Given that angle BAD is equal to 80 and angle DAF is equal to 140, find the measure of the angle or the arc. May I give an additional information here that DE, yan, segment DE and segment BC are diameters. They are diameters. So, angle BAD, this angle is equal to 80 degrees. And then, angle DAF, this one, the whole of this, yung dalawang to, ay 140. Since eto ay 80, therefore this is 60 degrees. Since D is a diameter, then the sum of these three angles is equal to 180. So 80 plus 60, 140, plus 40, 180. So 40 degrees. So unahin natin yung D muna. Ano yung arc BD? Arc BD, eto yon. Remember, the measure of the intercepted arc is equal to the measure of the central angle. Therefore, this is 80 degrees. Next, punta tayo sa angle CAE. CAE, etong measure nito. Remember, these two segments, DE and BC, are diameters intersecting at the center. So, they are vertical angles, yung DAE at saka yung EAC. So, if that is 80, therefore, this is also 80 degrees. Therefore, angle CAE is equal to 100, that is 80 degrees. Now, let's proceed to CAF. Yung CAF naman, the whole of this, you add, therefore, that is 120 degrees. And then angle DAF, the whole of this. DAC pala, sorry. Angle DAC, this one. So if that is 80, therefore this is 100 degrees. So if you are going to add that, that is 180. Now let's proceed sa number 2. It says there, DE is congruent to BC. So etong chord, DE, is congruent kay BC. FG is perpendicular to DE, perpendicular din kay BC. So kapag si DE daw ay 25, then BC is also equal to 25. So 86 si arc DE. Yan, arc DE is 86. Therefore, arc BC, ito yon, is also equal to 86. So it's 86. Segment BC, ayan, segment BC is 46. Segment DE, ayan, that is also equal to 46. And then DF, so arc DF, this one, 43 degrees. Therefore, FE is also 43 degrees by Theorem 3. If CG, ayan, arc CG is equal to 49, then BG is also equal to 49 degrees. Okay? We are done with activity 2 in your module. Now, let's proceed sa ating lesson 2. And this is about relationships among arcs and inscribed angles. So, let's proceed now to Theorem 4. Inscribed angle theorem. An angle inscribed in a circle is half the central angle intercepting the same arc. Anong ibig sabihin yan? Kapag daw yung circle natin, circle O, and this inscribed angle and central angle intercept the same arc. Pareho yung in-intercept na arc. So, eto yun. In-intercept yung arc 80. Then, yung measure nito, yung AOT, for example, if that is 100 degrees, then ang half ng 100 ay 50, yun yung measure ni inscribed angle. Sige. We will be considering 3 cases. So, case 1, the center O is on angle BAC. Case 2, the center O is on the interior of angle BAC. And case 3, the center O is in the exterior of angle BAC. So yung inscribed angle theorem, the measure of an inscribed angle is half the measure of the intercepted arc, is a corollary of Theorem 4. Let's have an example of that theorem. If the measure of this angle, angle C, is equal to 110 degrees, what then is the measure of angle X? The measure of angle X is equal to half of this, therefore that is equal to 55 degrees. Let's have another theorem, which is Theorem 5, angle in a semicircle theorem. An angle inscribed in a semicircle is a right angle. So kapag may diameter tayo, and then yung inscribed angle natin ay yung endpoints ng diameter, yun yung points ng sides ng inscribed angle, intercepting a semicircle, then that is 180 degrees. Therefore, the measure of this inscribed angle is 90 degrees. Kahit saan dyan, kahit nandito yung angle natin, that is still 90 degrees. Kahit nandito yon, yan, 90 degrees pa rin yan. Kasi they are intercepting the same arc, which is a semicircle. So yung inscribed angle is a right angle. So let's have, we are going to prove that one. In circle O, segment AC is a diameter and angle ADC is an inscribed angle. We are going to prove that ADC is a right angle. So here is the proof, I should say. So yung segment AC is a diameter and angle ADC is an inscribed angle. So that is given. Ito yon. See, arc AC is a semicircle. So the definition of a semicircle, arc AC is a semicircle. Therefore, the measure of arc AC is equal to 180 degrees. Degree measure of a semicircle is 180. So the measure of angle ADC is equal to 90 by inscribed angle theorem, yung Theorem 4 natin. So 180 divided by 2, 90 degrees. And angle ADC is a right angle by definition of right angle. Since yung measure niya 90 degrees, therefore it is a right angle. So we are done proving Theorem 5. An example of that, yan. So if this arc AC is a semicircle that is 180, therefore angle X is 90 degrees. Ganun lang, very easy. Next, let's have theorems on inscribed angles. Inscribed angles subtended by the same arc are congruent. Ang ibig sabihin, kapag si ACT, angle ACT, inscribed angle AIT, in-intercept yung the same arc, AT, then these two angles are congruent. So since circle O with angle ACT and angle AIT are inscribed angles and AT is the intercepted arc, their common, ayan, yung common intercepted arc nila, i-prove natin that these two angles, etong angle na to and this angle are congruent. Ito yung proof. So angle ACT and angle AIT, the inscribed angles, and AT, their common intercepted arc. Bakit may comma dyan? So given, the measure of angle ACT is equal to 1/2 the measure of the intercepted arc AT. Ayan, inscribed angle theorem. The measure of angle ACT, ayan, ACT, this should be AIT. Dapat yan, AIT, correction. AIT is equal to 1/2 the measure of arc AT din. By inscribed angle theorem din. So the measure of angle ACT is equal to the measure of angle AIT by transitive property. So ano yung transitive property? If A is equal to B and B is equal to C, then A is equal to C. And by definition of congruent angles, if they have these equal measures, then the two angles are congruent. So angle ACT is congruent to angle AIT. And an example of that, if this is 35 degrees, the intercepted arc is 70 degrees at times 2 nukwa. And then, the measure of this, dahil 70 yan, di ba 1/2, magiging 35 degrees. So, equal talaga sila. So, kapag 35 yan, and they are intercepting the same arc, then this is also 35 degrees. Yan. Another. Yan. C is the center of the circle. Find the measure of angle X. So if this is 38, this is 70. What? That is 76. Now, since the inscribed angle and the central angle intercept the same arc, and that is 76, di ba? Ang central angle equal to the intercepted arc, therefore this is also 76 degrees. Okay? And then theorems, on another theorem on inscribed angles. So if we have here an opposite angles of an inscribed quadrilateral are supplementary. So we have here two inscribed angles. So inscribed angle DRE and then inscribed angle DAE. I-prove mo that they are supplementary. Ganon din itong angle na to at saka angle na to. Okay? Now, I'm not going to prove this one because it is part of your activity sa ating activity 3. So ililive ko yan sa inyo. Now, let's proceed to an example of that. If this is 58, ang gawin mo lang to find x that is equal to 180 minus 58. So, 180 minus 58, that is equal to 122 degrees. Ganun lang siya. Do you have questions? None so far? Let's have this activity. AB is a diameter. Ayan. AB is a diameter. Passes through the center O, circle O. If AC, asan si arc AC? Arc AC is 80 degrees. Ayan. May nakalagay pala dyan. Okay, sige. BD is equal to 130 degrees. Find all the numbered angles. So, lahat ng number dyan na angle, i-find natin. Now, since AB is a diameter, therefore, angle CB is equal to 100. Why? Kasi nga 180 to. So 80 plus 100, 180. And the other one, 130 yan, therefore this is 50 degrees. So let's find angle 1. Angle 1 is an inscribed angle intercepting this arc, which is 100. Therefore, that is equal to 50 degrees. Angle 2, intercepting this arc BD, 130, divided by 2, that is 65 degrees. Okay? Angle 3. Where is angle 3? Eto. Intercepting this arc, 80, therefore it is 40 degrees. Angle 4. Angle 4, intercepting 100, therefore that is 50 degrees. Kasi 100 divided by 2, 50 degrees. Angle 5, ang intercepted arc niya, 50. Therefore, angle 5 is an inscribed angle. It is 25 degrees. Angle 6, ang intercepted arc niya, 80. Therefore, this is 40 degrees. Angle 7, ang intercepted arc niya, 130. So, this is 65 degrees. Then, angle 8, ang intercepted arc niya, 50. Therefore, this is 25 degrees. Angle 9. Paano natin kukunin yung angle 9? Hindi naman siya central angle. Take note that angle 1 is 50 degrees and angle 8 is 25 degrees. And angle 1, angle 8, and angle 9 are angles, interior angles of a triangle. So the sum of the interior angles of the triangle is equal to 180. So 180 minus 50 minus 25, that is equal to 105 degrees. So ang measure nito, 105 degrees. Now let's proceed sa angle 10. Ganun din. Angle 7 is 65 degrees. Angle 6, that is 40 degrees. Sum of interior angles of a triangle, 180. So 180 minus 65 minus 40. So that is 75 degrees. So angle 10 is equal to 75 degrees. So we are done with our lecture for 2 weeks. And it's all about relationship among arcs, chords, central angles, and inscribed angles. Don't forget to answer yung what's more and what I can do in your module. So again, thank you for listening. I hope ada naadal yo tatang aldaw. And no medyo hanyo maawatan, keep on practicing. And practice makes perfect. Goodbye everyone. Happy learning.